Good morning. So today is an exciting day. I applied to vend my books at a an event called, I think, Bookish Bazaar, a New Year themed Bookish Bazaar, and I was excited. But I also applied at the local author program at the library, and they have an event kind of to kick off their display of local authors that they have at the library, and it got scheduled on the same day. So I was trying to think of how I could be in two places at once, or if I have to choose one event or the other, which would probably be the vending event if I had to. But then my fabulous, fabulous partner offered to take care of the booth for me while I go to the library event. So we're going to do that today. The library event ends first, so if I rush, I might be able to hit the tail end of the book event. So hopefully you'll still get a little footage of that. But yeah, we have a big day, two big book events, and I'm going to take you along with me. I'll start off with making me and my partner a nice big breakfast so that we're all fueled up for the day. And this is gonna be exciting.
My sibling gave me this matcha for Christmas, and I've really been enjoying it this January. It's really good with just a little bit of honey. But my partner's not super into matcha, so I made him a chai and melted a chai toffee given to me by the same sibling in it to give it just a little extra flavor. Also, he likes inhuman amount of sugar in his tea. We both had a big day ahead of us, so I wanted to make sure we were all fueled up. Thank you for helping me today. Bronte got a treat too because one of our eggs was cracked, so she was pretty happy about that. And so breakfast is taken care of, and I'm all dressed. And I'm just gonna take Papa out, and then we can head out to the library. I am excited. I'm really excited and nervous, and a little bit nervous, but I'm excited. You excited to go outside and play, Bronte? Good. Does that flower smell good, Bronte? To be fully prepared for the big day, I packed a copy of each of my books, this Frankenstein comic that I got for Christmas in case there was a long moment of waiting and I needed something to occupy myself, a protein muffin so I can refuel, my planner journal, which was also a Christmas gift, my water bottle, and some chocolate my partner gave me just for a little pick-me-up. All right, I'm here in the parking structure. I have never been at the library and seen a line to get into the parking, so that's kind of exciting. Like, this is a bigger event than I thought it was going to be. And yeah, I'm a little nervous because I know I like get real chatty with you all, but I actually have like through the roof social anxiety. So yeah, I'm nervous, but excited. It's a good nervous. Sorry about the lighting in here. Parking structure. I put the car light on to kind of so you can kind of see me, but nah, my my camera's all shaky. Anyways, I'm nervous. I gotta go. I can't spend so much time talking. You'll probably get more B-roll, and I'll just do voiceover later so that you can know what's going on. But yeah, I'm just excited. I'm really grateful that I have the opportunity to do 2 book events in one day, and that my wonderful partner is helping me out so I can participate in both. And just a nice morning, spending time with my dog and my partner, which I actually don't get to do very often because usually either he's running off or I'm running off or something. So it's nice to kind of have a morning together. Yeah, all right, let's go. Let's do this.
To write the book that we wished we would have read when we were younger. Ray Bradbury said, I've interviewed him twice, he said in one of my interviews with him that we should write because we are witnesses to the miraculous. That's a good reason. He also told me he wrote to prevent the future, particularly when he wrote Fahrenheit 451. And when I pointed out that many of the things he wrote trying to prevent happened anyway.
My friend Bethel Swift, who I did an interview with on this channel in November, also published a book in 2025. So her book, A Woman's Work, Poems and Ponderings of the Heart, was also in the collection. It was really fun to share the experience with her and celebrate both of our achievements together. There were so many books by talented local authors. I was honored to have my little gothic horror book counted among them. I ended up adding quite a few new titles to my TBR as I explored the exhibit. The Central Library is one of my favorite places. They do a lot to support local artists, both literary and otherwise, and foster community and literacy. And they have a massive book collection that I could easily get lost in. After the welcoming ceremony, they gave us each a certificate of achievement and a magnet with our book cover on it. Their glass elevator still always makes me excited. Later in the afternoon, there was a reading, and all the authors were given 3 minutes to read from their books.
Looking out the audience, torn about which poem I wanted to read today. There's 2. I'm only going to pick one, but I'm going to tell you the titles because I feel that both are particularly relevant to today, where we have lost a second activist in Minnesota to ICE violence. So for me, it goes back to Elijah McClain and many, many others. So I was thinking to read that one, but I think instead I'm going to read End Times Excuses. If these are the end times that we are living in, does that automatically absolve us of our sins? Sins of omission, comfortable living, inaction, silence, sins of othering, willful ignorance, weaponized incompetence, state-sanctioned violence? If these are end times that we are living in, do we just carry on being utterly useless good women and good men? Shoulder shrugging, but Lord, who is my neighbor, justifying? Parishioners swaying and pews singing, I'm in the Lord's army. But really praying for his return, only to spirit us away, so we won't actually have to answer the call to either take up arms or lay them down. Let him come right the wrongs of the far left and the farthest right, even right here in our own land. Is there no chapter or verse, not even the red words, that we can clearly interpret to dictate our dissent of a wannabe dictator, aka felon personality cult leader? No God-given obligation to resist as a godly nation that this racist, fascist, foul administration? Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, sending bombs instead of aid to starving people. building cages as concentration camps for women and children, banishing young migrant men to be tortured in foreign prisons. Dark ink tints my white fingers just as it marks their once sun-kissed backs, necks, faces, arms. But the orange one accuseth, and the orange one sendeth away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. All of us stained once again with slavery's blood on our hands.
Blood ran down my chin, and the rancid taste of raw flesh clung to the roof of my mouth as I recited the incantation. My power returned to me, spreading through me like a warm summer day.
I felt a little self-conscious performing after Bethel because she, like many of the other writers, read a very poignant piece about current events that felt very important. And having that in juxtaposition to the prologue of my little horror villain origin story just felt, I don't know, a little supercilious, I guess. Am I saying that word right? I guess I just felt like, in comparison to her important words, this was just a little fantasy story. But honestly, I was proud of myself for stepping onto that stage at all. I have struggled with social anxiety my whole life, but when I started publishing my books, I knew that was something I would need to work on if I wanted to let people know about my stories. So I did. I started going to open mics and other bookish events and slowly building up my courage in front of an audience. And then 2020 happened, and the prolonged isolation put me in a serious regression. Without going into too much detail, a year ago from this day, I would have found it difficult to even be in a crowd of that size, much less read from one of my books in front of one. But last year, in the spring, prompted by a workbook I was working through, I wrote down a list of things I wanted to do that my anxiety was getting in the way of. Doing readings and book fairs was at the top of the list. Then I made a plan of exposing myself to the stimuli that made me uncomfortable in these situations and slowly and systematically worked towards getting comfortable with them, making sure never to push myself too hard. Making these videos was one of the things that gave me practice talking about my books again. Other things I did might seem less significant, like doing yoga in a studio instead of at home to get used to being around people again, or writing in a coffee shop instead of at home for the same reason, or even just attending large events as a guest, like Comic-Con. These things were really hard at first, but I showed up for them consistently and rewarded myself when I did. Slowly, they became easier, and I was able to vend at a few small events like the Sandy Pride Festival and a local craft fair. My fabulous partner was very helpful, supporting me, pushing me a little here and there, but also speaking to people for me when I was too nervous, and just being there with me every step of the way. All of this led to me standing on stage and speaking words I wrote into a microphone. And I can't help but be proud of the work I did to make that happen. While this is definitely not medical advice, and if you suffer from severe anxiety, I encourage you to seek a therapist who can help. I also want to encourage you by saying you don't have to let something like that hold you back forever. With the right support and a lot of hard work, you can find a way to do the things that really matter to you.
Listen to the rain. Listen to the wind. We will stay warm. Sable's body shook next to mine, shivering with her sobs and screams. How did such a small person make so much noise? Listen to the rain. Listen to the wind. We will stay warm. I repeated the words like a chant because I couldn't think of any other lies to whisper, and I had never learned any lullabies. Listen to the rain. Listen to the wind. We will stay warm. Listen to the rain. Listen to the wind. We will stay warm. I don't know how many times I repeated it, clinging to the words for my comfort as much as Sable's. Listen to the rain. Listen to the wind. We will stay warm.
Just to be clear, I'm not saying that you can completely work through a mental disability like anxiety, uh, I definitely offset the, I guess you would call them exposure therapy techniques I used with just generally managing my energy and, asking for a lot of accommodations within the home. So I think the key is with the right support, um, because I don't want to uh, accidentally be saying that you can just work through a disability and it's no big deal, because it can make things difficult. I just um because I was proud of the work that I did in order to achieve what I wanted to achieve. There are maybe things that others can do that are similar for the challenges that they are facing, and that's all. But I wasn't able to do it without support. Okay, I am so shook up. Just nerves, just nerves. Um, but like I haven't been on stage doing a reading in years. Like 4 years, 5 years, something like that. I think at least 5 years. And I just did. And I don't think I did a good job. I was only supposed to do 3 minutes, and I don't know how. I have no idea how long. I know it was more than 3 minutes. It might have been 10 minutes. I don't know. I don't know how long. I read the whole prologue of Heart Splatters, and I barely introduced the book, and I didn't say. I don't know. I'm worried people thought like it was a memoir or something, because, well, I mean, obviously they can't know because I was talking about. They don't think it's a memoir because I was talking about doing magic, but like I don't know. Just like those events, a lot of times there are a lot of memoirists and stuff that are like all talking about their personal experiences, and I didn't specify. Look, this is a fiction book. I don't know. I did say it was a villain origin story, and like it was the prequel. I don't know. I don't know. I was just like I must have looked visibly nervous because when I got back to my seat, my friend Bethel gave me a hug, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I went over. But you know what? I haven't done it in over 5 years. And today, winning at that particular activity is not doing a good job, but showing up. And I did. I did that. And yeah, I feel like really nervous about it. And like I have to go do another one. Um yeah, this one I have in less than an hour. So I'm gonna run and get to my booth and see how Spider-Man's been faring without me while I was at the library. Uh, I feel like so nervous. I don't know. Um, like I wasn't nervous leading up to it. I was just like, you know, I've done this before. It's okay. It doesn't be perfect. And I did it, and now I'm just like, ah, what did I just do? All right. I did it though. I did. That's good. After the reading, I drove to the brewery where the Bookish Bazaar was.
I mean, I'm a supporter, but I think like you're doing most of the work.
So as the person who set it up and has been here this whole time, it had a really fun, festive atmosphere, and there were a lot of great vendors and indie authors. I wish I could have spent more time there, but I did find some treasures and even did a second reading before helping my partner pack everything up and treating him to a very well-deserved dinner. Enjoying food well-deserved.
So what now?
I said enjoying food well-deserved. All right, so that was a good event. The Weir Beer Company hosted a bookish bazaar, New Year's, new books, with the Macabre Mysterium, and it was a really cute event. I didn't get as much footage as I would have liked because I just don't want to be obnoxious waving my camera all around. But like, yeah, it was the whole brewery was full of bookish vendors, and like people were just hanging out, having having some drinks and some snacks, and there was another reading, which I did a little better at, but was still awkward as hell because that's me. I'm an awkward girl, but it was a good time. And of course, because there were books all over the place, I couldn't help but buying a couple. I bought a copy of Edgar Allan Poe's poetry and a book by Cynthia Diamond that I've been wanting to check out for a very long time. It's The Impractical Guide to Satyr Charming. I am very excited to check it out. I've been seeing it on Instagram for a very long time, so yeah. And I'm just so grateful to my partner, Anthony, for helping me out. And I don't know, he talks up my books more than I do. I think he's like, this is what you should buy. You should buy it. It's so good. It's so good. And I'm just like, yeah, you got some books. Check them out if you want. I enjoyed them. But yeah, he had a sandwich and I had some fries. I like wolfed down a muffin on the drive from the library to here, which was a good 40-50 minutes. But I kind of want a little more solid food, so we're gonna go check out a pub near our place and get some more snacks and drinks. But it's been a really good day. It's been a really good day. I feel really proud of myself for doing both the readings, even though I was awkward in both of them. But I did it, and I didn't. Yeah, that's important. That's important. That's step one. And next time I'll do better and not be as nervous and awkward. And I'm looking forward. I have another book, another Bookish Bazaar booked with um, the the same vendors, the same group next month. So I'm excited to do that. Yeah, it's just so much fun. It's so much fun to be a part of the writing bookish community and be involved in events like this. And today I got to do 2 of them. Like, it's a really good, exciting day.
Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing to Ink Spills if you enjoy fairy tales, gothic literature, poetry, book recommendations, or writing.